Welcome back to the channel. Today we are using our Sawmill. Just purchased this just a little bit ago. Giving it a good shot today. This is the largest log we've put through it so far. Just figured I'd show you guys what we got. So this is our mill here. This is the Woodland Mill's HM130MAX. This mill is capable of doing 10-foot 5-inch logs and 30-inch diameter on those logs. Can actually get live edges when we cut at that width. I opted for this because of the trailer package option, as well as the option here where the bunks are higher as well, because you can get in here with a fork truck, and I've got a buddy with a fork truck, so if I bring it over to his place, he'll be able to just keep loading logs in right there for us. On it today, I've got about a 7-foot long log, and I've cut it down to 8-inch by 8-inch so far, so that'll give you some perspective as to the size of this. One of the reasons I chose this was the option to have this winch system as well that's on here, and these log loading ramps. Some of the other options that some of the competitors of this have are pretty manual looking tasks, and I wanted something that wouldn't require any extra equipment other than what could be carried along with this device. Wanted the option to be able to go different places and not have access to a fork truck or a tractor or anything else. I wanted it all to be one complete solution, and that's really what this provides. So essentially you can even drive this over to the area that you got your log at, go ahead and park it. You've got these 4 different jacks in the corners, and so you lift it up so your tires are not going to be resting on the ground while you're cutting or loading. You wouldn't want to put that kind of pressure on there, especially with if you have a 30-inch log. That's not something you want to do. But you bring it up, you square it all out, and go ahead and make your cuts. And that's how this has been set up. We actually used these ramps for the first time today and got this one loaded up on here, and it was just very easy to do. Can't stress enough how much labor savings that was to be able to do that. I thought it was a excellent way to pull that up. It's got on here a Kohler engine. It's a 14 horsepower Command Pro engine. I haven't had any troubles with it. It's got a battery compartment here I've been utilizing so I can use the electric start for it. It's got an hour meter up here on the top so you can keep track of how long that you've been running it. Of course, you can measure out what size you want to cut. I'm still getting used to that. I haven't done a lot of lumber cutting before, so this is really my first experience, and just been having a lot of fun with it and getting used to it. So you just roll your logs up here, butt them against the back where you've got these log stops, and that'll square it up back there, and then you clamp them in with these, and that holds it in place for you. And of course, you just make sure that all of this is set to where you won't come into contact with your blade to any of those every time you cut. So I'll show you some of the cuts that I've made already. Of course, you saw this large one get cut, but I also made some cuts over here. These are true 4x4s that I made, and they're about 10 foot long. So I've already utilized the full length. And I've got some 2x3s and 2x4s, just some lumber that was pretty straight from some of the firewood collecting I'd been doing, and just went ahead and had saved those since I knew I was getting this and been running those through. And some kind of scrappier wood that I'll use for some outdoor projects. Had the right thickness to it, and we'll use it somewhere. So just had that out here. Got some anchor seal that I put on the ends here to help keep it from checking when it's drying. So we'll see how well that works out. So far it seems to be doing okay, but these had already laid out so long, they were certainly not green. These are ash, all of them, and those had been dead for a few years, so having some of that checking in there is certainly going to happen. I had recently just taken them all out of my stacking. I had these all clamped down with ratchet straps and with stickers and everything else. I just took it apart just yesterday. I'm gonna get that stacked back up together just as soon as I finish getting this one all cut up and ready to go. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to that, make my final cuts, and see what we can get. There we go. We'll take a closer look at some of these boards so you can see kind of the quality we got. I believe this is some elm that was out of the woods, and it sat around for a long time, but even so, I think still really good stuff. Pretty wet. Obviously some of this moisture on top is just from the water that goes off as a lubricant. It's got some soap in it that sprays on the blade as it goes, so plenty of that's from there. But even still, these were still somewhere around 20% moisture content, so they got some drying to do. But really exciting to see just how well these cut, and kind of give this mill some extra work to do. You can see those fun colors in there too. Really pretty stuff. So we're very excited to have this mill now here on the homestead. A lot of projects we're gonna do with this wood. Not even sure what most of them are yet, but now that we have the possibility, I'm sure the projects will come. So stay tuned, and we'll keep showing you what we make out of this. Thanks for watching.